Stand by as we come up for a tornado warning. We are coming up for a tornado warning in Horry and Marion counties in South Carolina. Stand by. Having some technical difficulties here, the wrong microphone, and can't get the right one to come up. So just a second here to get this going. That's a little bit more like it. All right, folks, Jared Smith here with Carolina Weather Group out of Charleston, South Carolina, and we are looking at a tornado warning that includes the town of Aner in Horry County, Gallivant's Ferry down to Homewood, Conway. This is just to your north. If we go to the velocity here, well, we're not seeing a whole lot. Looks like this guy right here, this little spin up, kind of in the apex of a larger line of thunderstorms that is moving in. We have a giant severe thunderstorm warning in effect. I'll zoom out here. You can see this giant severe thunderstorm warning all the way out from around the radar site down through the Grand Strand and into Georgetown for this line of storms, potentially producing 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. This is moving east at 75 miles an hour. So suffice to say, this is moving very quickly. And so if your phone went off for this warning, you need to be in a safe place as soon as possible. Lowest floor, interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible and stay away from windows until this is over. It could be a brief spin up here, but again, you can look at the velocities on the radar here. These are 70 mile an hour winds that are that are blowing into northern Horry County, and then towards the bottom, and it might be interacting with the sea breeze a little bit. Again, this is not the most defined rotation we've ever seen. This is not exactly a real poster child for a tornado that I'm used to seeing here, but certainly a very dangerous situation, not just with the rotation, but again, with the thunderstorm winds that are moving into the area here. Let me see if I can queue up a few more frames here, but you can see that line of thunderstorms crashing towards the coast here, and the tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Horry County. Again, Conway, this is just to your north, but this is going to go until 8:45. And as you can see here, we'll zoom in. We'll see if they hang on to this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that is going to hang around for too long, because again, it strikes me as one of those kinds of tornadic circulations that spins up and spins down just as quickly. So we take a peek at. All right, so just looking to see if there's any reports coming in. So far, so good. But again, that may take a while to get some of these reports in as well. So that'll be something that we'll want to keep an eye on. But for now, some very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. And again, the threat for very strong damaging winds. Forget if you've got, spinach here. That's not, that's important. But again, the vast majority of you are going to see these very strong straight line winds coming in. So here's the outflow. There's the line, kind of a broken line of storms starting to crash through, kind of looking at the wrong radar for this, but crashing through Berkeley County here. We'll switch over, for those of you who may be watching in Charleston real quick, switch over to the Charleston radar. And we have some storms crashing through, but nothing here right now of too much concern, except for this line that is moving through Walterboro right now, which has a history of wind damage behind it. We're starting to get some wind damage reports there. Outflow is going to collide with what is left of the sea breeze, and so that could cause some issues as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But for now, again, the main concern to the south is going to be 60 mile an hour winds. And of course, to the north, where we have the tornado warning and the very, very large, considerable damage threat, severe thunderstorm warning. Again, 70-mile-an-hour winds possible with this severe thunderstorm warning. So Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, Conway, even though you were not in the tornado part of this, in the tornado warning, which is really kind of small potatoes compared to everything else, we are not going to it's gonna you're not going to get out of this scot-free by any stretch of the imagination, because again, you look at that straight velocity product, these are, you start getting into the blue pixels here, this gets to about 70 miles an hour, and yeah, you just don't want to deal with that kind of wind, whether it is spinning or just coming straight at you. So again, numerous warnings. I think we'll zoom out here for a minute and just take a look at the Carolinas as a whole here. Numerous warnings stretching from all the way from Roanoke Rapids and even, just the southern part of Virginia, all the way through Greenville, North Carolina, just now to the east of Raleigh. It's over in Raleigh, stretching down. This is going to be heading towards New Bern, Jacksonville, Wilmington, fairly soon. Past you in Fayetteville, you're good to go in Fayetteville. And look at the differences in temperatures too. 88 in Charleston here, 72 in Winsboro, 73 at Newberry, 72 at Lawrence, and there may have been some very strong and gusty winds that came through there a little while ago. So suffice to say, we got a lot of atmosphere that needs to be chewed through here, especially as we get further south. Getting reports of some strong winds now in the Goose Creek area, and the good news is that the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. It is actually, yes, so it is allowed to expire. Let me take that off there. Tornado warning has expired, and again, the main threat now is going to be damaging straight line wind gusts here as showers and thunderstorms continue to move eastward across the area like that. So again, there's the tornado warning again. As I suspected, it was going to be there really for a brief time, and then that was it. Starting to get some reports of some very strong winds now moving through Berkeley County, South Carolina. And while we're here, let me punch that up for you. Go back to this radar here. We'll go back to the Charleston radar. Scooch this down, and again, we're getting some pretty good wind reports through here, and I would not be surprised to see a warning come up in this part there. But again, I think the main thing to watch here is going to be the risk for straight line winds. And again, I'm just trying to read stuff up from the Weather Service here. But again, the tornado warning for Horry County has expired. So that is good news. Again, that was going to be brief. And the main threat is still going to be the strong and gusty winds as they go through. Let me collapse that real quick. And got a lot going on over here today, as you can imagine. But we have a good question here about Eastern North Carolina from Wesley and Heather Weaver. How are we looking in Eastern North Carolina? Well, you have a very strong line of thunderstorms beginning to approach your area. We're going to go to a more regional view on the radar here. Let me just punch that off real quick. And you are under a severe thunderstorm watch in Eastern North Carolina. In fact, let's just take a look at the watches real quick. Severe thunderstorm watches stretch from almost Albany, Georgia, up through Charleston, up through the Grand Strand, into Raleigh, Greenville. But I do expect this to be trimmed back at some point. But again, Eastern North Carolina, you are under a severe thunderstorm watch, and that watch goes until midnight. So the watch in Eastern North Carolina goes until midnight. And let's switch this back to some satellite and radar view here. And you can see that you do have a line of strong thunderstorms. And again, you see kind of this thicker, a little brighter severe thunderstorm warning polygon. Again, that's indicating 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts moving in. So that's going to be something that we're going to need to keep an eye on closely. Further to the south, Trad here on YouTube notices that, yes, the watch further to the south down here in Charleston is until 3 a.m. Again, this is allowing for some wiggle room, but I do expect that once this main line is through, that the severe weather threat will end and the watch will be canceled early. But they tend to like to, give these a lot of room, a lot of breathing room just in case. But there's going to be no redevelopment behind this, especially as we get towards the end of the day here. But we can see line of thunderstorms down here. A few of these segments have severe thunderstorm warnings on them. But again, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that goes into effect and is in effect until 3 a.m. in that neck of the woods. So just keeping an eye on this. So far, no additional severe weather warnings or tornado warnings have been issued. I don't expect a lot in the way of tornado warnings. The better tornado threat was actually to the north. I don't really expect a lot in the way of that. I think this is going to be at this point, much more of a damaging wind event. Could there be some spin-ups in the line? That is possible. But again, not likely that we're going to see much in the way of tornadoes tonight. Now, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now, and this is going to just save that real quick. We have severe thunderstorm warning that includes Ravenel and Cottageville and Jacksonboro here. So this is Dorchester and Charleston and Colleton counties. So right here, right in this neck of the woods here. So Jacksonboro, Ravenel, Hollywood, south part of Dorchester County, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect, as the line of storms coming out of Walterboro, which has a history of wind damage, presses eastward into the area. So that'll be something that we're going to need to watch there. However, let me just see. Just kind of taking a peek at things. And that hasn't updated yet. There's a lot going on, as you can imagine. It's been a rough day in the Carolinas, although maybe not as rough as we had feared in some ways, which is good news. Always a fan of that. And let's get this out about this warning real quick. All right. Cool. All right, so getting that out there, getting that out into the world there. But again, so thank you for bearing with me while I do that. But again, kind of looking up and down, we see some of these segments have the ability to produce 70-mile-an-hour winds, and that is moving into Myrtle Beach right now. Myrtle Beach, and then there's another round heading into Greenville. So North Carolina, that is Greenville, South Carolina. They may have seen 80-mile-an-hour winds, possibly, with the storm that went through there. Again, I haven't heard any follow-up reports, but certainly a busy day in that neck of the woods. So, all right. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump back off this stream, and we're going to let the Carolina Weather Net take back over. If another tornado warning should be issued, hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we're done with this sooner than 3 a.m. We'll jump back in. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and just hop off for now. Again, be ready for some power outages tonight. Keep a flashlight nearby. Keep keep your phones charged. And just in case, again, not saying everyone's going to get a power outage or anything like that tonight, but definitely just be safe. Be safe with this. This is a pretty decent storm system. Certainly some anomalous upper energy that's helping us get this running into some early August air. And so that's how these things tend to happen. But on behalf of the rest of the Carolina Weather Group, I'm Jared Smith. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here from Charleston, South Carolina. And again, please be safe, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. But hopefully not too soon.